Hi everyone, my name's Mandy and I'm a student at Winona State, and I'm just going to tell you about the redemptive nature of God and how that's his innermost being. So I grew up in a broken household. My father didn't follow Jesus nor knew who God was, and my mom wasn't walking with God. There was a lot of fighting, a lot of things that just wasn't love. I didn't see who God was in that. And because of that, my parents got divorced when I was 9. And because of that, I had to move in with my mom. But since she didn't know God, she didn't know how to raise me. So I actually grew up being abused by my mom, mentally, physically, verbally. And that transitioned into a lot of expectations in high school. I tried getting straight A's. I tried being really good at sports, got college offers. And I went to college for my mother so that she could love me. I thought all of the love in the world, if my mom just loved me, I would be okay. So I never truly knew what God's love was through that. I then went to college. I played collegiate volleyball, and I started getting into every worldly thing you could think of. I smoked, I drank, I partied. I tried finding ways to satisfy myself, and I shortly realized that nothing was satisfying me, that I was just so broken on the inside. I wanted nothing to do with anything in this world. I then moved back here to Winona, Minnesota, hearing God's voice. And I moved out, actually, before I went to college, out of my parents' house. I wanted nothing to do with my mother. And when I came back to Winona, I actually heard God say, text your mom. And I was in a place where I knew his voice. I knew who he was. And I knew it was my mom's first time living as well. So I texted my mom and I asked for forgiveness, not being the perfect daughter, but I also just said without her permission that I forgave her. And that actually transitioned into him redeeming my family. My mom now follows the Lord with all of her heart. I have a stepdad now. That's my spiritual covering until I find the man that I want to love the rest of my life. And I just see the redeeming nature and how loving our family is, how we're all trying to be perfect through Jesus Christ. But when I came back to Winona, I realized, God, there is more to this. There has to be more than going to school. There has to be more than working. There has to be more than trying to satisfy my needs. So tell me what I need to do to see that. So I went to Australia and Papua New Guinea actually last July through December for mission trips. And when I went to Papua New Guinea, there was this lady, her name was Lisa, and she was lying down under this mosquito mat. And Lisa had breast cancer. She just got diagnosed 2 years ago. She then told me that she was paralyzed from the waist down 4 months ago. And I looked at her and I go, Lisa, do you believe in God? And she goes, yes. And I go, so what is your favorite song? And she goes, my song is No Turning Back. And what it says, I've decided to follow Jesus, no turning back, no turning back. And I looked at her and I go, Lisa, can we pray over you and pray for your family? And I heard God intimately say to me, I want you to tell her that I love her and that she is my child who I deeply love, and I see her in all of her pain, that she still has purpose here. And I told Lisa that, and we got up and we prayed for her, and she wasn't healed in that moment, but I do believe spiritually that God touched her that day. We start walking back to the village, and God asked me, Mandy, would you follow me if that was you? And I seriously stopped in the middle of the jungle and I wept. Because I knew in the back of my throat, it was no. God, I would not follow you if my legs were not working. If I was in that position, I would not follow you, God, but make my heart surrender to say yes to all of you. I want to see you. I want to see you in my brokenness. I want to see how you can make me whole. And so coming back from Australia a day before I come back to the United States, I break my leg by falling. There is no reason or whatsoever of how I should have broke my leg. It wasn't playing a sport. It wasn't bicycling. It wasn't working out. I simply just fell. And that night, I was crying because I was in so much pain. And I asked God, what do you want to work on in me for you? And he goes, that source of independence and that source of pride of thinking you do everything yourself, I want that to be gone, because 1/4 of that in your heart is not from me. So now I'm here back in Winona. And I want to abide and I want to live by God every single day. And I can tell you right now, from following him, from seeing his will, from seeing what he wants to do on this earth and how he sees me in my darkest moments, even back in Jamestown when I was going to college, when I was drinking, partying, smoking, all of these things, that he looked at me and he said, Mandy, you are my beloved daughter, and I love you, and I will fight for you, and I will pursue you the rest of the days of your life until you know that is in my heart. And now my heart is not calloused anymore. It actually is dependent on God. I'm self-sufficient on God, and that's all I could ask for now, and I'm just living day by day through his will. Thank you.